Yeah, no, you okay? No, I just, like, the other day, I was just wondering if you were.
She, she. Rest.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
No,
We're alive.
Oh, we're not ready.
we are live now?
We're alive.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Hour being 5:30 on Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. I will now call the Public Works and Service Committee to order. Mr. Pitlock, would you call the roll, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alderman Jones,
Present.
Alderman Jarrett. Sure what to put on that one. No longer an
Well,
alder.
she's no
Right.
longer.
Alder Escada. Absent. Alder Mack.
Present.
And Alder Perez.
President.
Thank you. First item on the agenda are the approval of the minutes for September 24th, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and second to approve the minutes from September 24th, 2024. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Our first item is 0855-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of Downtown Racine Corporation, requesting use of city right of way for the annual holiday parade on Saturday, November 9th, 2024. Staff recommendation that permission be granted to the Downtown Racine Corporation. Road Ontario Street, State Street between Ontario Street and Main Street. Main Street from State Street to 6th Street. 6th Street from Main Street to City Hall on Saturday, November 9th, 2024. A holiday parade for the following attached stipulation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Pertlock, did you have any comments?
The only thing I would say is, this is the annual event that, DRC has put on. We did review it and, have no issues with what was, requested.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item is 0870-24, communications sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Public Works submitting bid results for contract 202 or 209 Racine Fuel Depot upgrade. Recommendation to receive and file.
Move to receive and file.
Second.
Mr. Pertlock, did you have any comments on this?
Well, what I would say about this, Madam Chair, is, well, we only got one bid, number one, and two, throughout the bidding process. This is a fairly specialized project, so there were some concerns as to whether or not the Racine Works program would apply. Late in the bidding process, we, contractor did submit to have Racine Works program waived, and it was approved. However, it was kind of late in the ballgame at that point in time. And because of that, we think we've there's a couple of more bidders that probably would have submitted. I think we've got better prices as far as that goes, especially if talking to our consultant, 10 Point Solutions. This is what they do. They had the same commentary that. Then there were some other things that we found out too, that some of the warranties that are in the contract were not similar to what these types of projects do. So we're gonna go back. We'll take a look at some of the things that we did, and we'll start fresh where Racine Works does not apply, and they will all know it right away, and hopefully we'll get better prices.
We should have that re-advertised, I believe, November
1.
1st.
Yep.
So we should have bids to bring back here for approval in December.
Thank you. Any further comments, questions? Being none? A motion?
No, we have a motion.
Very good.
Motion and second. It's a motion and second to
Receive
approve
and file.
items 87024 receive and file. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Our next item is 0850-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Public Works submitting final payment for contract 2024053. Beardsley Concrete LLC construction contractor. Staff recommendation that the work completed by Beardsley, Concrete LLC on contract 2024053 College Avenue curb replacement, Erie Street jump repairs, be accepted and final payment authorized for a total contract amount of $205,478. Final payment to include retainage.
Move to approve.
Second,
Henry can move.
I'll move and you'll second.
Okay, all right, it has been motion and second that we approve item 0850-24. Seeing no comments or questions, did you have anything?
The only clarification I want to throw out there, and I think you guys know this, because we did the rectifying change order last time, is the College Avenue curb replacement was not part of this contract, but it was just in the name only. This is only Erie Street joint and slab replacement concrete project.
Thank you. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion passes. Our next item is 0851-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the city engineer. Request approval of the transportation project plan for state project ID 2703-000676 Ohio Street, limits Washington Avenue and Princeton Boulevard. Staff recommendation to the Public Works and Service that the request be approved.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Mullin, do you have any comments?
Just that this is the right-of-way plat approval for Ohio Street, and we need this approved to basically start acquiring property either in TLE or fee for that state project.
It has been moved and seconded that item 0851-24 be approved. Then no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Our next item is 0852-24. Communications sponsored by the chair on behalf of the city engineer, submitting a state municipal agreement for state project ID 2703-05-0373 Spring Street. Limit Fairway Drive to 303 feet west of State Highway 38 State Street. Staff recommendation that the mayor and city clerk be authorized and directed to sign the agreement, the state municipal agreement for state project ID 2703-05-03/73 Spring Street, limited fairway drive to 303 feet west of State Highway 38 State Street.
Move to approve.
I have a question for you.
Okay,
So, we talked about sidewalks and you mentioned sidewalk there. A combination pavement type curb and gutter, sidewalk on both sides and lighting along the routes. And, we talked about not really, we've talked before and the state has talked before to us about not necessarily putting sidewalks in to save money on projects. Is this one of those projects that would work better without a sidewalk, or can we not put a sidewalk in if we wanted to, or does some special thing happen?
No, these are generally things, the pres that we discussed. It's kind of boilerplate, it's put in some of these, state municipal agreements, but sidewalks have been waived on several, projects, whether they're state connecting highway projects or they're funded through STP funds like this one. For example, we're not putting in sidewalks on Northwestern Avenue, State Trunk Highway 38 next year. We're resurfacing that with the state. They're paying about 97 cents on the dollar for that project. They want to know if we wanted to put sidewalks in on the north side of Northwestern Avenue, you know, essentially on the back side of those apartments. And we said, no, it doesn't make any sense. So, no, we have the latitude to be able to say yes or no. We do know that sidewalks have to be maintained by the property owner. So there's a bit of a process to go through that. So I think on Spring Street here, where there are areas where it's void of sidewalk, I think those are probably were made like that. And the areas that have sidewalk where they have to be removed and replaced as part of the project for ADA ramps or driveways, or whatever, we'll do that. So I don't think we're going to force sidewalk on any particular area on Spring Street, but we will hold public involvement meeting like we're required to do in these projects. I can't say that for certain, but if the residents who live along that corridor are desirous of having those type of facilities in the public right of way that they got to be responsible for to shovel and replace in the future, then we can have it considered. So it is an option that is in there if the local unit of government wants it.
If we're responsible for a percentage of this, is there, will the percentage based on the sidewalk application be significant enough for us to look at that as an option for us now instead of with a public meeting?
Well, these types of agreements through the STP, you know, the funding is capped, and then anything over the cap is 100% funded by the local unit of government. Unlike a connecting highway, where whatever the funding agreement is at, the change orders go up on that same split of costs, share of costs, if you will. So generally, what would happen on something like this, if there was a desire to put in sidewalk, let's say, then we would have to go through the process of holding a public hearing and go through what that would cost to assess the abutting property owners to put in the public sidewalk along the project. It's not necessarily required. So we would have done, they had this similar discussion, they're redoing Highway 31. You may or may not know from Durand Avenue all the way up to Washington, they're going through that same type of process. We're kind of outside of that. So to speak, but so that's how that would go. We would actually have to hold a public hearing because new sidewalks have to be assessed to the abutting property owners, just like new concrete roadways are, just like new curb and gutter would be as well.
So based on this proposal for the thing we have in front of us, there will be a public hearing that will discuss whether that's needed or not.
No, there'll be public involvement. And I thought of that public involvement meeting, we find that there is, you know, a plurality of residents who have frontage on the desires of putting a sidewalk in. Then we would come before this committee and request a preliminary resolution to hold a public hearing. We just can't arbitrarily hold a public hearing for sidewalks. We have to bring that to this committee, and common council's got to approve that, you know, just like we do for any accessible type project. We don't have administrative authority to hold a public hearing. That should be approved by this body.
Thank you.
And I move to approve.
Thanks.
Motion is second to approve item 08-2-24. You know, for the questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Next item. 54-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the city engineer submitting amendment number 1 to the 3-part professional engineering services contract between the city of Racine, WSDOT, and Stand Associates, Inc. for state project ID 2703-0901 North Main Street, Blue Street to Melvin Avenue. Staff recommendation that the mayor and city clerk be authorized and directed to sign amendment number 1 to the 3-party professional engineering services agreement between the city of Racine, WSDOT, and Strand Associates, Inc. for state project ID 2703-0901 North Main Street, Blue Street to Melvin Avenue in the not to exceed amount of $450,486.49 Physical note, funding is available in 2025-2034. Approved planned budget.
Move to approve.
Okay,
Mr. Molitor, did you have any
Just,
comments?
just a clarification, this is just an amendment that, basically design changes for the project that are driven by, real estate issues and to complete the project on time and get it let.
Thank you. Doing no further comments?
I have a question,
Okay.
and it's for attorney, but what does approved as to form mean? Page 32.
Yeah, there's a statutory requirement that the city attorney approve every contract as that contract was approved by the common council, authorized by the common council. Direct to executes it, make sure it's executed by finance director, because there's a requirement. Finance director certified the funds are available, and by the mayor and the city clerk. So it's essentially that all the procedures required.
So it's like a
We're
checklist.
under-
you got- Okay.
Any further questions from committee members? Any further questions from staff? Any? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Our next item is your side agreement with board communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the city engineer submitting professional service agreement between the city of Racine and AECom. Staff recommendation that the Public Works and Service Committee approve the professional services agreement and direct the mayor and the city clerk to sign the agreement between the city of Racine and AECom for 2024-2025 sewer inspection in the not to exceed amount of $184,160. Funding is available in Port Object 26-640 52-100 sanitary sewer 60484-52-100 storm sewer. Mr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an annual, special services agreement. We bring forward this committee for professional services, for our sewer asset management. There are 13 tasks associated with this work. They are all listed there. The approximate cost for each one of those services is also shown. And then there is a percentage split that's applied to that task, whether it's being charged sanitary sewer maintenance, special revenue fund, or the stormwater utility enterprise fund. These are all necessary work that needs to be done for both of these utilities, so to speak, stormwater utility and sanitary sewer maintenance fund, and also part of the work that gets done to integrate that asset management with our pavement asset management and the ability to go through and identify which assets need to be rehabilitated, realigned, reconstructed prior to our paving program. That's part of our CCTV. It's also includes all of our GIS inventory that we go through and update our system there. Part of this is monitoring utility cleaning that goes on, developing the reports. Remember, I did a committee of the whole presentation at the beginning of September. Most of that information that you saw at that committee of the whole that related to the sewer asset management was developed by the work that AECom does for us. They also give us assistance with our sanitary sewer maintenance and stormwater GP calculations. Again, they integrate our planning. So the funding split between the two different utilities, between sanitary sewer maintenance fund is $85,832, and for the enterprise fund stormwater utility funding is the amount of $98,828. So the committee agrees. The appropriate action will be to recommend the mayor and city clerk to enter into the agreement.
So why AECom?
AECom has been our sewer asset management consultant I've been with the city 30 years. Prior to that, they have been helping us develop our programs for evaluation. They got us started with closed circuit televising. They are the firm that helped us create the stormwater utility back in 2004. We did that 20 years ago and codified that on January 1 of 2005. They're the firm that helped us write the ordinances and codify the sanitary sewer maintenance fund, and that went into effect in 2009 on January 1st. So they know our system, they're very familiar with it, and the integration is really helpful in our pavement asset management, which is done through InfraPave, which is proprietary software actually that AECom, formerly EarthTech, formerly Donahue, they developed for other municipalities across the country. So it works with that. So that's why we've been taking the same partner to the dance every year. So we recommend that.
Any further questions from the committee members?
Move to approve.
Okay.
Then motion and second to approve items 053-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is 0856-24, communications sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works, committing roads and projects for ice control of the 2024-2025 winter season. Staff recommendation that the city purchase road salt from Cargill Inc. for approximately 7,000 tons of road salt for ice control during the 2024-2025 winter season under their proposed one-year contract price of $84.12 per ton be delivered.
Move to approve.
I have a question on this. We're getting the same price. Did we use what we bought last year for the salt?
I don't believe we use everything that we had purchased, so it goes into storage into our bins over there at Pearl Street. But this gives us the availability to purchase up to 7,000 if we need it. So,
How quick is that? I mean, like, you need it, you use it on a weekend, can you get more salt by Monday or Tuesday?
Typically, they'll order it in pretty huge, pretty big batches, so we don't typically run into that problem because we've got a lot on here. But if we, like you said, if we do need to order it, it's I would think we would be able to get it here within 2 days.
yeah, I think with advanced notice, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of it gets brought in and stored in Port Milwaukee. You go up like
Yeah, I'd say
the hole, you can see it down there. So it's in close proximity as we need to replenish our stock, if you will. So, but the superintendent keeps track of our salt consumption as the winter progresses and gets a hold of the vendor and says, we need delivery of X amount of our allotment, and then we'll get that scheduled. We don't run dry before we make the call, so, and look at the weather forecast. But this allows us kind of to reserve, if you will, our 7,000 tons if needed. Are we gonna use it all? Not if we get a winter like we had last. Pardon?
Are you required to buy it?
No, we are not.
So we've been averaging about 4,500 tons the last probably 3 to 5 years. Whether or not that'll stay the same, who knows?
Right.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Any further questions? Comments? Seeing none,
I move to approve.
Second.
motion and second to approve item 0856-24. Seeing no questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Our final item is 0905-24, communication sponsored by the chair from the Commission of Public Works submitting the FFY 2025 FHWA WISDOT sub-recipient titled BI Non-Discrimination Assurance Agreement for Approval. Staff recommendations to authorize and approve the Commissioner of Public Works to sign the agreement to ensure that the city of Racine continue to receive federal financial assistance from the U.S. Department of Transportation through the Federal Highway Administration, and that the city of Racine is subject to and will comply with all statutory and regulatory authorities in accordance with 49 CFR Part 21-7, parentheses A, parentheses closed.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, let me read the physical note. There is no cost to the city of Racine to sign the agreement, and it ensures that the city of Racine will continue to receive federal finance from the U.S. Department of Transportation, DOT, through the Federal Highway Administration. Staff have any comments?
No, it's something that we received from Wisconsin Department of Transportation, which we received from Federal Department of Transportation, HWA, and it's part of the quid pro quo for receiving, federal dollars that you apply. And this agreement is a subrecipient of funds. It's Title VI, non-discrimination assurances. So they'd like to have this thing signed off on. I consulted with the city attorney. He said go before a committee and council approval, and he said I think he designated a signature on the agreement. I could send back once it gets approved by the governing body. So that's how it got before you. Unfortunately, it came in late. We're looking for it to be returned soon, so we probably get it.
Do I have a motion and second?
Yeah.
What was it? It's the motion and second. 0905. Be approved. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. That is our final item for this afternoon. We are adjourned. Thank you all so much. I would take it. Thank you.
Okay.
I would take
Wow.
it. That was getting here, and then I had to walk like 4 blocks, so.
What meeting? We're running. You go on north. I can. Yes. You're ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, it's gonna drop this off my office.